even if you were to eat the type of vegetable, the amaranth or other type of pumpkin leaves, and you prepare that with too much oil and you prepare that too long, you're going to lose some of the nutrient and you're going to add extra calories you don't need. So the key is to know, what am I exactly consuming? Is it close enough to how it came from they harvested it? If you look at millet, it's a good one, but these days we are all into rice, we are all into wheat or pasta. But if you are to compare someone who ate maybe millet versus someone who got processed corn, you can monitor their blood glucose. You might see someone who had their millet, their blood glucose will not shoot up the same way. So the key is for us to know, why can't we really continue to embrace and have pride in our own food rather than thinking that what we get here in America has more benefits? So that comes to all of us coming together and examining and asking ourselves, are we really still healthy? What have we changed so we can go back to the good ways? What can we and also, as we know, people who come from our region, usually we only go to see a doctor when we are sick. We don't do any preventative measures. So during the time of prevention and also education, community activities, getting all these restaurants and around us to come and compete and learn the healthier way to prepare items, all that can build us into a community that are going to promote what we eat to our children. You mentioned something very important, time, activities. Food is really related to also our emotions, is related to our time, is related to the budget we have. But there are ways we can plan. It comes to also finding, how am I going to prioritize? Maybe cook some of them and freeze them, do something, because the moment we understand how it changes our body, and also how by having, I always like to tell people, let's have peace with food. Truly, even it's another place to begin with, let's have peace with food. Food is there for you, you're not there for food. I say that with respect because at times we find that food becomes a place of comfort to make us feel good because we are stressed, and we have people who are eat because they are stressed. So, and what do we eat? Sweet, very high fat, all those processed foods. So it's time now that we get back to truly re-examining and allowing some of the food we consume back home to be part. I love the way the doctor said, get more of the plant-based into their natural form and cut down on how much fat you are adding. Try to get that taste and get used to it and enjoy it. So I will stop there and then we can continue talking about these topics. Thank you. You're muted, Lydia.
Pulses.
Yeah, sorry, I have some background noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm just gonna try to bypass. Can you hear background noise from my end or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to fix it. I don't even know where it's coming from. Give me one.
All right, so while she's fixing that, I just want to mention we tend to also eat differently during the week versus the weekend. And weekend, you might have a little bit more time to look more into recipes. It really comes to planning, because once you plan even for the rest of the week, that can make things much easier, where you know where you're gonna buy them, how much you're gonna prepare, and make sure you don't lose some of the nutrients that are very essential. So I don't know if anyone else, I don't know, hopefully Lydia is all set now to continue.
It seems like she's still
Okay. I'm still trying to figure it out, but at least the larger noise is gone.
The inception.
Oh my gosh, it's coming back.
Do you have another thing open on your web? Because that could be like from YouTube or something.
It's gone now, though.
It's gone.
Yeah. No, she's muted. That's why it's gone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, I've tried to take it down, but now I can't hear you guys really well, but I'm trying here. So I think we should just continue. Let's go to Gladys. I wasn't able to hear you really well, Dr. Margaret. I apologize. I was trying to fix the stuff at the back, but I really appreciate you chiming in. The last I heard is how, as busy people, we can try to make food and freeze and then just get it off and warm it when it's time to, I try as much as I can to do that. So thank you. So let's go into some practical application too of this traditional knowledge, and I want to welcome Gladys to talk to us about that. So with your dual expertise in nursing and also whatever you do, coaching, what are some of the practical steps that we can take to incorporate traditional foods into our diets, to support our heart health, and especially those who are dealing with familial hypertension. I heard Dr. Kaniaru say diabetes is not hereditary, but sometimes I also hear, I don't know which one is type 1 or type 2, the one that you're born with, so even children have it. Please help us understand what we can do in that aspect, Gladys. Take it away.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me say something. Just because you were born in a family where these diseases are, doesn't mean you will get them or you have to get them. Number two, just because you have been told you have them, doesn't mean you need to settle down and now live like, this is it, this is who I am. I want to give you an example of myself. Both my parents had diabetes. Both my parents had hypertension and heart disease. My father died in my hands. He had a heart attack. My mother died of complications of diabetes and kidney failure. But way before they even passed away, after nursing school, I went home and decided to do a U-haul of my health. I told my husband when we got married, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be cooking for you rich foods. I did for some time, but I realized if I had to change the trajectory of familial diseases, it had to begin with me. So I made a complete change. I said, you know what, I can do without meat, and I'm not telling anybody to do without meat, but I have not eaten meat since 1992, and I'm still very healthy. So I put away sugar. I don't use sugar in my cooking. Sometimes I use honey. And up to now, I'm turning 52 this year, but I have not been diagnosed with the diseases that my parents had, although most of my siblings have. Why? Because of lifestyle change. So just because you were born in that family doesn't mean you need to get the disease, or if you have been told that you have it, doesn't mean you live with it. Here's what I mean. My little brother was diagnosed when he was 40 years. He called me and said, sister, guess what? I said, I can't guess, tell me. He said, my hemoglobin A1C is 13. I said, what? So I told him, you go to school, go to work. He said, what do you mean? I said, learn everything you need to learn about diabetes and call me the next time and tell me you're not on insulin. I was not playing with him at 40. So I sent him articles, I sent him recipes, I sent him stuff. He is turning, I think, 40 something. My brother, after 6 months, reversed diabetes and he's living healthy. My sister had uncontrolled hypertension for so long and I didn't know. Every time I called her, she had this puffy face. And I'm like, sister, what's going on? So she came to visit me. She lived with me for 1 month. And I said, when you go home, sister, please send me your normal blood pressure. My sister's blood pressure is normal from the 170s. Right now it's 111 over 70. 110 or something. Why? Because of lifestyle change. So I am here to let you know that these things are doable. These things are, you just have to go to work. Let me tell you the characteristics of traditional African food. It is homegrown. Number one, Africans grow their food most of the time. Africans boil their food. They don't fry their food. Most Africans eat unprocessed food. Most Africans eat 2 or 3 meals a day. That is it. That's all you need to heal. I came to the US in 2010, and people looked at me and said, oh, give her 6 months. You will see her weight will be blown up. I was like, you don't know who Gladys is. I'm on a mission to keep me. And they still wonder how I've managed to keep my weight up to now. It's because I did not change my lifestyle. I still continued living my life. I only changed places. I'm not in Kenya, but I eat like a Kenyan. I eat like that village girl. Why? I want to live as old as my grandmother, who lived to be almost 120 years because she lived on homegrown food, home-cooked food, unprocessed food, mostly food with no fats, food with no sugar. And she lived a healthy life. I did not see that woman sick, not one day. So that's the characteristics of African food. And then they do not snack. Africans don't have snacks everywhere. You eat breakfast, you drink your porridge, then you eat lunch, then you eat your dinner, and you go to sleep. So here are practical ways, things I have done that I know are helping me to avoid hypertension, to avoid heart disease, to avoid diabetes. And let me tell you one more thing. My doctors don't know what is wrong with me. They really don't. Because after I came to the US in 2010, I was told your white blood cell count is low. I was like, I don't know what that is. At that time, it was 3. So since 2010, it has been declining. The most critical recently, they told me your white count is 2.2. We have to admit you in the hospital. I said, I'm not going to nobody's hospital because I feel fine. So this week, I went to see them and they were like, you know what? We just want to let you live your life. I said, amen. Leave me alone. I can tell you that food is medicine because it has kept me going. I don't know what's wrong in the body, but I'm still here. I took care of COVID patients. I didn't get COVID up to now, thank God. Why? Because I flood my body with things that help the body to fight for me when I am weak. What do I mean? Fruits, vegetables, and processed food. So, practical ways to incorporate African cooking. Number 1, if you are able to grow your food, please do. If you are not able, buy food from the natural market because it has less chemicals, it's less processed, you will get it as is. Number 2, please boil your food. Just simmer the food. This deep frying and whatnot is just, you're putting things in your body which you do not eat. Things like beans, just boil your beans. At the end of, before you start eating it, add your onion, add your tomato, add your carrots. You don't need to fry beans, just eat them as they are. Another thing that you can do, I heard Dr. Margaret say, plan your meals in advance. Please do, especially we who are in the diaspora and we are very busy people. Do not go to bed before you know what you're gonna eat in the morning. Why? Because when you wake up in the morning and you don't have something, that is when you are going to pass through the fast food store to get something because you were not prepared. I am sitting here now, but I have shopped for food. Today, I shopped for food to take me through Friday next week. I planned my food based on what I want to eat. So I went shopping because I knew what I needed for my menu for the week. So plan your menu, shop according to your menu, plan your meals in advance. Do not go to bed if you don't know what you're going to eat in the morning. Do not go to bed if you don't know what you're carrying to work for lunch. carry your food. Nyoyo ni sawa. Just carry the nyoyo, carry the potatoes. And I don't know whoever told people that if you eat your sweet potato and beans, you're gonna suffer. No, a good meal. I boil my potatoes. I take a potato, I put my beans, I add my cabbage, and that's a really good meal. I carry my apple, complete. While people are going to the, what do you call it, cafeteria to spend $12 for chips and chicken and stuff, I have my $2 food, $2 food, which is healthy. So those are practical ways. Be curious. You know, nobody ever said these things are written in stone. I try things left, right. I make my food based on how I feel that day. It's like make your own recipes, you know? Make your own recipes. Try new foods here and there. You will not die trying a food. Why? Because you are taking care of yourself. And another thing, if you ever want to go plant-based, then eat variety. You can't eat sukuma wiki and managu all the time. Eat variety. Why? Because your body needs all those. The more color, the more nutrition there is in the food. So try something new every week. Try new colors every week, and you will not be disappointed. You will not. Maybe you don't know where to buy these foods. Be a friend of the Indian stores. Be a friend. Go there. All kinds of beans are in the Indian stores. All kinds of legumes are in the Indian stores. All kinds of grains are in the Indian stores. You know, last time I bought even wimbi. I want to try and cook wimbi and see how it is because Indians eat whole wimbi. I am going to try to cook it. So those are the practical ways that you can incorporate into including African traditional foods or African traditional way of eating while you are in diaspora. Every once in a while, reward yourself with these other foods. Every once in a while, because we can't also say like, I don't need this, but every once in a while, especially if you have young children, make a day where you treat them and say, this is a day for the American food. That's how I raised my kids. I was like, you know what? Every Friday, you're going to get the treats of these other foods, but all these other times, you're going to eat like my mother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gladys. I'm glad you've taken us through the process of incorporating some of good habits. What I took out is failure to plan is planning to fail. Let's try our best to plan so that we don't fail. I'd like to just take this part to talk about the challenges and solution of reviving our traditional diets. And I'm gonna have Dr. Kaniaru lead it, but then the other panelists, please feel free to chime in. Dr. From a medical perspective, what are the major barriers that you see in your patients when trying to adopt traditional diets? And how can these be overcome, particularly for those managing conditions like type 2 diabetes and hypertension?
See, like I said, poor people food. Poor people food. So when we come here and we are thinking, man, you know, I could only eat a little piece of meat. Now I can eat a whole, you know, half a chicken, quarter chicken. I can eat a whole, you know, these kind of things. I remember like soda, right? Soda used to be something occasional. You know, cake. These things were occasional. But when we come here, the land of abundance, right? Oh, I can have this. Even if I wanted to eat cake every day, I can buy it and put it in my fridge and eat it every day. If I wanted to eat chicken, I can eat. In fact, people are not just eating chicken every day, right? They'll probably have eggs for breakfast. And if you become, you know, you adapt the real American, you know, culture, and you're eating bacon and you're eating a sausage. Well, Kenyans love sausage. So let me not say that's an American thing. Kenyans love sausage. And did you know that World Health Organization 7 years ago declared sausage and other processed meat, meaning pepperoni and salami, what are the hot dogs, carcinogens, class group 1 carcinogen. Do you know what that means? It's in the same group as cigarettes. We know that they cause cancer. And Kenyans love sausage. So I'm going to tell you here that even if you don't become fully plant-based, please stay off of processed meat. That is a carcinogen, a group 1 carcinogen. We have seen a lot of people developing colon cancer. Do you know, like right now, there's a rapid rise in colon cancer between age 30 and 40, right? Because we are eating all this high fat, all this processed meat. You know, when they cure the meat, they use all these nitrates, these chemicals, which then become carcinogens. You eat it, it starts to change your DNA, it changes your cells. And this is why we have a big problem. We need to get all those fruits and vegetables, the beans. Beans have the highest fiber of all the foods, right? And we know how we despise. I remember growing up despising. I'm like, beans? I used to eat it because I have to eat it, but I didn't understand. Now I know better. There's no, like in my house, in my fridge, there's always either beans, chickpeas, lentils, something. Like we have to eat some kind of legume every day. They're very high in fiber. They're a good source of protein. And let me tell you, all plant foods have protein. So do not ask, where am I getting my protein? Because this is the reason why people go for meat and eggs and milk and all these. All plant foods have protein, each one of them. Like Gladys was saying, eat a variety because they have varying proportions of essential amino acids, but that is actually what makes plant protein superior because it doesn't stimulate a lot of hormones in your body, especially insulin, a particular one called insulin-like growth factor, which promotes growth in the body and even cancer growth. So you don't want to be eating this kind of foods which will promote cancer in the body. And let me talk about milk here right now, because it's traditional, yes. And I growing up, I drank a lot of milk. Milk is not fit for humans. Cow milk is not good for humans. We have seen premature puberty in kids. It promotes breast and prostate cancer. These are hormone-sensitive cancers because milk has hormones. And the way that they do it, like they will milk these cows until they're almost giving birth. They have a lot of hormones, right? So milk is not good for humans. The top nutrients in milk is number 1, lactose, number 2, fat. And we have been talking about fat. So we really have to be careful. I drink my uji every day. That's also poor people food. Growing up, it's like, well, if you're drinking uji, it's because you can't afford the milk. But that's what I drink, my millet. I get the millet. If I don't get it from back home, I buy it from the Indian store. I make my uji. So these traditional foods, I think the barrier, again, is because we associate it with poverty. We don't understand how nutritious, how these foods promote our health. That's why we don't eat them as much as we should. And we adopt the American culture, but now we are getting all these diseases because, again, we don't have moderation. And I say moderation doesn't really apply to something that's not good for you, right? Moderation applies to something that's good for you. And like I said, I understand not everybody will become completely plant-based, but if you can make your diet to be 70, 80, 90% plant-based, and we're talking about whole plants, eating actual beans, eating actual vegetables and fruit, eating the actual whole grains, millet, whole wheat. Whole wheat, I've been saying I need to cook whole wheat like rice. Cook it, whole and eat it like that. Barley and oats. If we eat this food like this, it doesn't matter what kind of diet we adopt or what we call it, vegan, plant-based or flexitarian or pescatarian or whatever. It's the amount of whole plants in the food. And the more you eat, the more healthier you will become. Like I said, try to be as close to 100% plant-based as you can, whole food plant-based as you can. And that will really be what we need to do. Rethinking, like I said, not thinking this is poor people food, but this is healthy food. This is how we should eat close to the ground as much as possible. The nutrients packed in those foods is amazing. The greens are actually one of the most nutritious foods that we have. But growing up, I'm like, pumpkin leaves, you know, poor people food. No, this is the healthy food. So we need to change our thinking.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaniaru. I'm gonna open up for Q&A. We already have like a couple of questions in the chat, but we have one more, something to address, but we can definitely address it after we take a few Q&As. Julian is asking, should you test for diabetes if you have symptoms? And any of us can take this. And then there's someone else asking, can diabetes lead to death?
I can start with that, and then I will let the doctor and the nurse, also Dr. Daphne and Madam Gladys contribute. First of all, before I speak about diabetes, I want people to leave here not feeling like they cannot get the food we are talking about. Cabbage is cabbage. Whether it's from Africa or America, cabbage is cabbage. Beans, it's beans. You might get some of those food in a local store where you purchase from. Now we are concerned with inflation, where things are too expensive. Yes, you can still get your fruit, you can get different items. The key is what we are continuing to put emphasis on, make things in moderation. The plant-based will have plant chemicals that are beneficial for you. They will have vitamin, mineral, but also the way you cook that. If you cook it too long in too much water and you dump that water, you're losing some of the nutrients. So coming to diabetes, I'm going to speak from the perspective of a nutritionist. What we eat is going to cause us to gain weight. We might have, like in my family, my mom has diabetes. My cousin also recently died from diabetes. I know we have that predisposition in the family, but the environment is what's really causing that shift to go fast and faster. One thing is to prevent the excessive weight gain, and it's possible by what we eat, the type of physical activity we do, and also how well we learn to manage stress. Once you know you have seen changes in your body, it's normal that you want to do some checkup. There's a primary physicians you're supposed to go to every single year in the US, and that PCP is supposed to take your fasting blood glucose, or if you're working on a random day, he might just say, let me do your A1C. It's a type of lab that gives us a picture on how high your blood sugar has been in the last three months. That's what Gladys was talking about, of 13. The normal is 5.7. And if it's too high, and at times some of the labs might not work well in some of our communities, but if it's high already, that shows you there's a problem. So leaving this place, we strongly encourage everyone to know what's your status in blood glucose. And once they say your blood glucose is elevated, normally we start with healthy lifestyle. We want you to change what you eat, to do physical activity, to manage your stress, and do other things before they put you on medication. There is unfortunately, at times, clients are put on medication too fast and too quickly, but also majority of us, even here in the US, majority of people are not aware that they have diabetes or they have pre-diabetes, and they just keep on living, assuming they are healthy and get some signs and symptoms. So what's critical is to know your status and work with the professionals who are specialized in those particular fields you are interested in. If they find you have very high blood glucose, the PCP will send you to a dietitian. And now that's another problem because majority of our dietitians are Caucasian, so they might not understand what you eat anyway. So that's another area where we have to come up with ways we can help our community. So I will stop at that. Yes, you need to be tested. And if you're tested once, you need to continue to be tested and checked and do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Margaret. I believe she has answered the questions. Should you test for diabetes, and can diabetes lead to death? And we have Jim asking, please talk about the connection between mental health and nutrition.
So actually, nutrition affects every system of the body. Even though we think that it only affects the blood sugar and or maybe hypertension, but there is one question I ask everybody sometimes is like, are you eating for your eyes? Are you eating for your brain? Are you eating for your bones? The food that we eat nourishes every single cell in the body, and you can be deficient in the way you feed your brain, and that can affect your mental health. So yes, nutrition is very essential for mental health, especially if we include seeds and nuts. Then you know you are getting your omega-3, and omega-3 is very essential and necessary in mental health. I know with our limitations as nurses, we don't talk too much about the relationship, but Dr. Kaniaru can tell you in a deeper detail about it. But while I'm also on this, let me say something about foods. Dr. Margaret has said that the way you cook your food can affect if you are getting the nutrients. When I was doing home science in high school, I was told the order in which I should buy my food. Get them fresh. If you can't find fresh, look for frozen. And if you can't find frozen, go for dried before you go for canned food. Because canned food actually has been overcooked, mistreated, and then some things removed and some things added that you don't even need. So go for fresh before you go for canned foods, because canned food has a lot of other chemicals as well as sodium or salt that is not good for your health too.
Thank you so much.
And just one more thing. I know when the body is stressed, that's mental health, it requires more vitamins than somebody who is not stressed, especially I think it's vitamin A, E, and something. I may have to look for the notes where I wrote them, but the body needs for nutrients is increased when somebody is stressed.
Thank you so much. And you've just helped to answer one other question by someone that was asking about stress management. So yeah, there's a question also about is canned beans okay? Try to keep it short so that we can move to like the next question.
A part of the
beans okay?
mental health we did not cover. If you don't mind, we can add to that.
Oh, yeah. If you want to add to what Gladys said about connection.
So right now we are dealing with issue of eating disorders, not because there was a deficiency, but because of stress and excessive intake. And we are dealing with some people who have history of abuse or the way they are considered. They find food to be a comforting thing, or because they are dealing with too much stress out there, food has become like a companion and a friend. That's another mental issue we have to deal with, where we can get people to manage that level of stress so it does not put them to overeating. Unfortunately, they are overeat all the stuff we are saying they are not good for them. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think one important question there is also, is it possible to reverse a severe case of diabetes with food? Thanks, Peter, for the question.
Okay, let me, I would say actually something about the mental health. So, I mean, like Gladys said, and I know Dr. Margaret has said the same thing. nutrition is big when it comes to mental health. And in the gut, we have microbiome in the gut. There's trillions of bacteria, virus, fungi that live in the gut. When we eat, as humans, we don't digest fiber. That fiber is broken down by that gut microbiome, producing neurochemicals, hundreds of neurochemicals, producing antioxidants and vitamins. So if guess what? Fiber is only found in whole plants. There's no fiber in animal food, zero. So fiber is only in whole plants. And of course, if you're going to eat processed plants as well, they have removed fiber, white rice, white flour, all this stuff. Whole plants is what is going to feed that microbiome to produce those neurochemicals that we need. Serotonin, which is your good feel-good hormone, right? 90% of it is produced in your gut, and there's always gut-brain connection, right? Your gut is actually your second brain. So we have to really take care of our gut by feeding it with the fiber, not the fiber you buy from the store, fiber from food. Beans have the highest fiber. Of course, all your fruits and vegetables are going to have fiber. Your whole grains will have fiber. That's why plants become so powerful when it comes to health and even mental health as well, right? So another thing about reversing diabetes, yes, for sure. I have seen it. Gladys talked about it in her own, siblings. I have seen it in patients. I tell people this, if you are sick with diabetes, strictly, I tell them you have to go 100% plant-based. I mean, this is not where you're going to play around like, oh yeah, I'm just going to, no. Like if you go 100% plant-based, and just eat the whole grains, the legumes, the nuts and seeds, you're going to be a little careful with that because diabetes is because of too much fat. So if you consume a lot of nuts, even though it's healthy, it might impair your weight loss and, all that. Fruits and vegetables, you eat this way, you get rid of the fat. Actually, your plant foods that you're eating also increase your metabolism, that you're able to oxidize or burn all that fat that has accumulated inside your muscle and liver cells. And now once you get rid of that excess fat that has prevented your insulin from working, guess what happens? It starts to work again because there's no energy now. There's no too much energy inside your muscle and liver. Now the insulin can let glucose come in. That's how it is to reverse the diabetes. It's just doing that and eating those foods. So it's very possible. For some people, it might not work. It can still really help you reduce your medicine and maybe get off insulin, because what happens sometimes, your pancreas maybe is really burned out and it can't produce insulin, because you do need insulin. To be able to reverse it, you at least need to be making insulin. Enough insulin. And sometimes it's not like you need all of it. Maybe even 50% can be able to help. So maybe very few people who have like their pancreas has basically given up. But for a lot of people, if you're especially within 5 years, 10 years of having diabetes, you can. But we have seen it even those who have had diabetes for 20 years. So don't give up yet. There's a lab we do, it's called C-peptide, that shows us how much insulin you're making. And that's one of the things I check when I see my patients. I check it. And if most of them actually, they're making a lot. They're still in that stage where they're putting so much insulin out. And at that stage, you can reverse the disease because you still have insulin.
Thank you so much. I'd like to read a comment by Tom. Tom, I don't know how to pronounce the second name, but Tom had made a interesting comment talking about, I'm a farmer growing fresh vegetables and delivering to AfriThrive. What I'm hearing from all my customers is that the flavor of these locally grown fresh vegetables is very much richer or better than the produce in the grocery store. Can we conclude that the nutritional value of the local fresh food sustainably grown is superior to the product in the national commodity industrial system? Even though I really don't know the exact answer, I would think just basically the answer is absolutely yes. We can go back and forth, but the answer, like taste and every other thing, the soil is rich and everything. Industrial has never been anything that is good for you. But what is locally grown and sourced, I would absolutely say, of course, yes. We only have a minute, and there's something I would really want us to talk about lastly, but we can definitely open up the forum afterwards. This is what I wanted us to talk about. Give me 1 second as I pull it up. We like sustainability, and for this to be sustainable, we can't just leave it here. And this comes to preparing diabetic students at UMD, what challenges are there, and how do African diaspora students get in the field? What are some of the challenges they face? Dr. Margaret had talked about, you go to a dietitian and they're mainly Caucasian and might not understand you. So we need a way to make this sustainable. Our own getting into the system of being dietitians and learning about our own food. Let's talk about, how do we ensure that we have some kind of sustainability with this topic that we are addressing?
Yeah, I think one way to go about it is to start explaining to the children earlier on that there are different careers, and so they can also understand what do dietitians do. So we have people, more than 50% of my students come from community colleges. So that means when they go to those community colleges, they can apply to transfer to the University of Maryland. What you need to understand is that dietetic is really heavy in sciences. We have 4 chemistry, 4 biology, biochem, because we do not just talk about food, we understand how the body processes that. So how your physiology is changing. The key is really the exposure to know what the field can offer, and it can be expensive. So that's why by starting from community college, you can even get a scholarship, or you can get federal grant, federal money to come in. One thing I would like to say, and please hear me, our children can compete at any level they want. That's not an issue. They can come and excel. The key is for us to provide them that information. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have come to the end. Even though we have questions in the chat, I think we addressed about overcooking vegetables. And Peter is also asking about hemorrhoids and diet and all that. And thank you, Mercy, also for your comment. If we have any more questions, please send them to info@afrithrive.org. We'll be able to send you some of the answers because we just ran out of time. I'm sorry. Finally, I want to take this opportunity to thank our panelists. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaniaru. Thank you, Dr. Margaret, and thank you, Gladys, for being here with us and sharing with our community this great knowledge. Finally, we have a conference. My mind is a webinar. We have a conference coming up. It's called It Takes a Village, where you will learn this, whatever we are talking about right now, and many more things about how to make our African diaspora community even more successful. We'll be talking about finance, we'll be talking about food and nutrition, we'll be talking about how to raise our children, how to get into the education system, and have successful kids even within the systems. How do we take them through elementary school, high school, and then college, immigration, and many other things and issues that we hope to make our African diaspora thrive. Yeah, so I am putting in the chat. It takes a village. Did I miss something? Yes, I've put in the chat the conference website. Please go there and register. We hope to see you sometime in July. But before then, we also have a place where you can ask us questions, send them to info@afrithrive.org. And you can also go to afrithrive.org. I'm typing it in the chat. To check out the other programs that we offer. Without much to say also. I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, our panelists. Thank you, our audience. We hope to see you again soon. For now, it's a bye-bye from us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.